I love myself better than me.
That noise was kind of crazy.
Nah, but that's how should be saying.
Oh, I'm a single ladies. Oh, I'm a single ladies. I put your hands up.
Like, yeah.
I put your hands up.
Like, right?
She got that Barry White.
Yeah. Like, why are you singing like this? That was always my frustration. But
You gonna hit and record the You got it. I got it. Who get up the easiest? He do. Yep. See, look at him. And then hit it one more time. One more time. Perfect. Actually,
yeah.
scoop the shit on back. No brief on you. Alright. Alrighty then.
Yes, we are Redeem Rasmus for the Christian Brothers blog.
Powered by Gatorade.
Podcast now.
Right, Christian Brothers podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Very Christian Brothers podcast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Back
back
again.
back at it again.
Anyway, like, why we ain't scared now? Like, let's talk, man.
All right, yeah. So,
Man,
so we
yeah,
are, Waka Flocka. That dude out here.
That works.
But he said, oh
I'm
man,
getting there. Some time. Time.
Nah, man, somebody called me a mop the other day, bro. Like, I'm just like, you look like a Swiffer, like, nigga. So, like, if we gonna be in this space, we gotta be in this space together. Like,
I mean,
so these jokes don't hurt us. So I feel they just
do
like
it.
funny.
I know what I saw.
Like, you're a mop. That's cute. That's still longer than yours, boo.
Yeah, natural.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Natural.
flick it on them sometimes. But whatever.
See, I'm gonna get there one day. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of put mine back like this.
Okay.
for sure.
I feel like
Baby steps.
Baby
steps. Ain't no harm in starting at a place.
Yeah, she back.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Anyway, money.
So we were talking about money.
We be praying.
Yeah,
This is that.
we should.
Cash apping me something? Like, what's that?
Money,
That's the
bro.
disconnect from the Matrix Cash App.
Stewardship. Stewardship right there, bro.
Nah, it look like disconnect from the Matrix Cash App.
So
This is me requesting
I
10.
just disconnected this year.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
So you gonna slowly disconnect more and more?
No, I'm saying I still got residue from stuff like
Oh, alright.
yeah, I see stuff.
I was gonna say, cause like when you was talking about the J. Cole album, one is good. You should.
I'm
listen
sure
to
it is. I like J. Cole.
But it's one of those. Oh man, we having a.
Right. That's why I'm like, so I'm gonna sit down and talk about it.
Nah, but I was gonna say because of like
He
just
talking about that.
like because
Somebody-
you could put it out, like because like music is the way it is, you can get it direct to consumer music now. Like, do you consider that disconnected or whatever? But
yeah, you consider disconnecting from the Matrix?
no, go ahead and pray though. But, like, we'll talk about it though. Like,
Somebody told me I need to listen to the B.O.B. album, by the way. I didn't hear it. But somebody was like, yo, you should listen to
which
it.
B.O.B. album? The first one, or like he had dropped a recent one?
He dropped the
Recent.
one.
Yo, he don't believe slavery like existed.
Yeah.
Like he believed that was actually.
Yeah.
That's another time. That's another conversation.
Yeah, bro.
That's another show. Another
That's-
conversation.
He also believed the Earth is flat, so like
I mean,
Who is this Bob?
that's another conversation because I share similar sentiments. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm finna roast you, dog.
Yo.
Roast you, man.
Y'all like, yo, who is this guy? Whose man's is this?
Right. In other news, Cassidy dropped the tape, and that thing's tough.
He's a believer, right?
I don't think he is.
Oh, okay.
Like Cassidy, from
From
North
Philly. Yeah. No, he had at least he had a phase where he was rapping Christian rap. Like,
I don't know if he did, big dog.
no, legit. I can show you the videos. I show you videos. He was rapping about
We'll see
like
it.
the Lord, like Jesus.
Yeah,
Bible.
Yeah, nah, he definitely wasn't rapping about the Lord in this, but
I believe you.
wasn't.
I totally feel off from that. But
Yeah. So,
all right, who's praying?
One.
Let's do it.
me?
Reverend.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah, bro.
All right, Lord, thank you for this day. We are trying to talk about money right now.
Yeah.
Pray you help us switch gears, and then you help us talk about it in a way that's helpful and in a way that, we just bring out the pertinent biblical data and the pertinent practical stuff, because we don't live in the ancient Near East anymore, and
Right.
you willed it. So help us help people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So, so Chris and I have worked as 1099 people. Noble and I.
It's not what 1099 is.
Oh yeah, it's a contract, and not a permanent employee. So you're just contracted to do certain tasks, so they don't owe you insurance or whatever. But generally, like the more work you do, the more money you bring in.
Right.
So, but like so sometimes I work 45 hours a week driving. Sometimes I'm sure Chris has cut hair for like upwards of 45, 50 hours a week, and it's like that's full-time hours. But it's like I just get the cash. I have to pay taxes on it, and then I have to invest it in if I want insurance or whatever. So. Yeah, and so a lot of people just see that as kind of like an extension of like how to get paid, but it's actually like a formal legal category, and a lot of people get blindsided by this. They start rideshare driving, they start cutting hair, they start doing sew-ins, whatever sort of 1099 stuff. They start cutting grass or selling water ice. Selling water ice. You know what I'm saying? Like once you make like $3,000 or $4,000 or like $10,000, you have to file taxes.
So,
Yeah, so like there's a number you hit. We should probably look that up.
I think it's 10,000.
It's 10.
Yeah, so it's $10,000 that like you have to file taxes, and if not, Uncle Sam is gonna come find you. Yeah.
He gonna find you.
Yeah, I mean, we've had cultural examples of like people just not paying taxes. So like that's the worry. Like we've had a Wesley Snipes situation.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? Where bruh like produced Blade, like his production company produced Blade, and all the money that Blade made, all of the blades that came out, you know what I'm saying, they caught him up on some tax evasion a few years ago. It's like that's heartbreaking, because like when we think about superheroes, Blade is one of them that look like me and Christian for sure, and it's like cool, but like how do we avoid those things? You know what I'm saying? I think that, I think that's the question that you
right, yeah.
get into, but I don't want to interrupt and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. How do we avoid that? And like, even why does that matter? I've talked to a lot of people, I've driven a lot of people around where it's like, hey man, forget that man, Uncle Sam, man, Uncle William Penn, man, you know what I'm saying, bro? I ain't paying no taxes. Come here, get them taxes, don't come back to me, dog. I don't care about that. And so like,
Were you in Florida when you picked that person up?
Well, no, they said it in Philly lingo, but I mock people in Florida lingo.
Alright.
They be like, no, that bull ain't for me, no. Like,
No.
But like meanwhile, like your cousin takes care of your grandma on state money, so actually William Penn is for you, my friend, Jaquarius Muhammad.
That's crazy.
Ahmed.
Jaquarius.
Yeah, Jaquarius is a Florida name, like Muhammad, Ahmed, Kel.
Kale.
Shamir.
Yeah, Shamir. Yeah, you're right. Even though that's interesting enough, that's a double gender name. I didn't know that. Anyways,
Shamir.
yeah, Shamir. But anyways, yeah, one of those things. But yeah, it's like, why should we pay taxes?
I mean, look, bro. The government is serious about their money.
I mean, it's true.
Period. Like that's my period. Like, cause like I don't know many people that are getting away unless you know tax code, which is a very sticky situation. Like, cause it's like a lot of like
Blue
legal.
trap sticky.
Yeah. It's a lot of legal jargon to read through, but like the government want their money, and so unless you're taking the proper steps to avoid paying taxes, like, you know what I'm saying, we hear all of these examples of like rich, Anglo men, not paying taxes, you know what I'm saying, on $1 billion companies. But at the end of the day, like, if you know the system, you can beat the system. But why should we pay the government taxes? Because they're gonna come and get you if you don't.
Well, like, that's the practical reason. I feel like just like kind of like biblically, like theologically, like,
it's our duty to pay taxes.
Right, yeah, it's our duty. And again, like, like even like the example of the guy, in my back seat earlier, he was like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying, like, they don't help me. No, and like he was freaking out about how like the government like doesn't help, but like the reality is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in which we all reside, and my friend reside, whatever his name was, I don't really remember his name, doesn't matter. Like, if his grandma gets sick, they get, like, his cousin or him could get paid to take care of her. And that's all state funded. And in our Commonwealth. In Florida, there's no state funding for that, like where we're from, and in like Delaware, probably there's no state funding. I know there's state funding for that in Jersey, but it's like the roads, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like public health. A lot of people collect, like to help them. A lot of people take their kids to get like meals at schools when they don't have it.
Sure.
And all that stuff is like, so when I pay in the taxes, when I'm bumping on Philadelphia roads and I almost pop a tire, I'd be like, what y'all doing? Street department? And I'd be mad. But it's like, like I was at a school today, I passed it and it had a sign door. It was like summer meals for young kids and teens. I was like, oh, my taxes go to that. I can pay taxes to that. It's like, even though, Philadelphia kills me for taxes. But it's like, if somebody goes to that, okay, cool. Like, if the soda tax goes to that, I still don't like the soda tax. Shouldn't be taxing me to discourage what I drink. Because if I feel like drinking soda and being 300 pounds, I can drink soda and be 300 pounds, Mr. Mayor. However, if somebody goes to that, it's like, cool. But yeah, I mean, like, just like the government's duty to promote public good, like that sort of thing. Even Jesus sort of sarcastically said, like, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Paul says, like, they bear the sword. Which is what you're, like, touching on, which is like, Uncle Sam ain't sweet. Neither is Uncle William. He might have been a Quaker in the past, but he no longer is. And he gonna come get his money with the sword or with the stick.
Yeah.
He gonna find you.
What's up? He gonna find you. It's the
Lock
same
the
time
doors.
I said that.
Hide your kids, hide your That's crazy.
Hide your money.
But yeah, and so, but like, it's interesting because you said like with like white Anglo men who like beat the system because they know it. And I guess that's a part of what I want to talk about today, because it's like one of those things where there's a proverb in the Old Testament that says, "He who is a companion of fools or a companion of angry men." There's several proverbs. Himself becomes angry, himself becomes a fool.
Right.
And like, so like that logic is woven. It's like a minor theme to the book of Proverbs. Mm-hmm. And so, but he who is a companion of the rich, by that same rule of thumb, becomes rich. Right. And can level up. And people are always saying where it's like, how you level up? And I saw one article, it's like, it takes 20 years of nothing going wrong for you to escape poverty. And it's like, that's a part of it. But another part of it is just declaring your expenses right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
or could be that.
20 years of nothing going wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. And I don't feel like that's realistic. But
something's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah, like something is gonna happen within those
like
20 years for you to escape. Like, you're not escaping like debt or like financial crisis that way.
Yeah,
like the stock market might crash in 20 years. Like, you don't know like what's gonna happen, so like you can't avoid that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, what was the question?
Yeah, so again, like, I thought the article was ridiculous, but like, all right, so like people who are doing 1099 work, like, a lot of people don't like 1099 work as full-time work because it's like, it just becomes a hustle. And it's like, well, if I treat it like a real job and I invest my money, like, what are some ways I can do that to where it's not this hustle where I'm just out there getting money for a season as if I can do this all my life? Like, what are ways to like flip 1099 money into legitimate streams of income to where I actually level up?
Man, like you can utilize the tax code to your advantage, right? So like there are things like you as a 1099 contractor, as a self-employee or self-employed person can like write off on your taxes like whatever industry you're in, like, you know what I'm saying, like driving, barbering, you know what I'm saying. Itemize those things that you pay for on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis, because a lot of people don't think about the day-to-day when they think about the week-to-week. So I say run your numbers day-to-day, right? So like if you have lunch before you do a client, you drive a client, you do a head, like you cut somebody's head, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna write it off as a business lunch? You know what I'm saying? Or when you go you go to the beauty supply store, you know what I'm saying, to get oil sheen, hairspray, whatever you getting from the thing, you write that off. Do you think about, you know what I'm saying, your personal hair care needs when you think about those things? And write those off. So it's like things you can like legitimately write off as business expenses to one, you might have to pay because that's what taxes are. You pay taxes on those things that you already paid taxes on for them to give you money back, but whatever. So you do that, but that's cool. So because you got a little money coming in at the beginning of the next year, and you can invest that somewhere, Roth, stocks, you know what I'm saying, whatever, insurance if need be, like health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, just in case you can't work anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there are different kinds of life insurance, whole, term, whatever. And so you can invest it in these things that like people are like for me like that's the way I learned it, or I've been learning it. Is like first tier is like making sure your insurances are straight, just in case something happened to you, your family's straight behind you. You know what I'm saying? So like making sure your whole your life insurance, your disability insurance, your health insurance, and like car insurance, all those kinds of homeowners insurance, all that kind of stuff, just in case that 20 years don't go the way you think it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? You're covered. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and so that's good. And then second tier being like investing in like, you know, like long term investment is third tier. Like for retirement, third tier is like
well, second tier for me is gonna be like you're investing in you're making sure you have savings. You're making sure you have like a savings account. You're making sure you have a long-term savings account, which will be your IRA. And you're making sure that you have like a some sort of means of stashing money and making it grow. So whether that's a high-yielding savings, CD, whatever, you're gonna want to stash some money so that it can grow, make that money work for you. So that's gonna be the second tier for me. And then like obviously we're all like in a particular age range, so we're like looking at houses, like that's like the American dream is like buying a house, like picket fence, like that'll be the third tier. So you like having enough savings and stuff like that just in case, but also having a miscellaneous or extra savings for the purposes of buying a house and stuff like that. So like, and then the top tier would be like business ownership, you know, where you're saying, you know, this is a side hustle, or let's say your barbering started off as a side hustle, your driving started off as a side hustle, you know what I'm saying? But let's say you go through all of the necessary paperwork to own your own barbershop, own your own like ride share, taxi, whatever. I don't know what it'll be in the future, but like if you can like intuit or see into the future what the necessary need is going to be within a particular industry that you already know about, you're creating an entrepreneurial space for yourself in that area.
Right. Yeah, that's good. And then I guess like just like some practical tips. Like I've been doing a little 1099 thing, but like I guess like a before and after. So like Christian, like so how did you used to do taxes and keep track of expenses and stuff like that? Like you've broken that down a little bit for me. Obviously, don't put all your business out there in the street, but you know, like whatever's helpful. So it's like, how did you used to do it?
Yourself, my boy.
and like, how are you doing it now? And like, why are you doing it that way now? Like why the change?
Yeah, honestly, I could still be doing things better, I feel like.
Okay.
But beforehand, I just would. Once I left like corporate America and was cutting hair full time in the barbershop, I was just stashing cash, and then I would deposit money as needed in the account. Like that's literally how I was doing it. And I was still like claiming taxes and everything, but the way I would count my income, like I said, I was kind of rounding it up. I wasn't like counting every single dollar. Like I wasn't tracking my money throughout the week. So at the end of the week, whatever I had, you know, I would just count that up and say, all right, cool, I made this for that week. But I wouldn't think about where did I eat, what equipment did I have to re-up on, you know, anything that I had to, like any money that went out of the window that week or whatever, I wasn't even considering.
Right.
So now on my taxes, it looked like my income was a lot lower than what it really is. So now that I'm looking to like buy a house again, or I already have a house, I'm like looking to move and wanting to like keep this property as an investment property and move for more space because we're expanding our family and all that. It's like I know being self-employed and trying to go to a bank for another loan when you already have one and you have other expenses and debts, they track your taxes. Like that's how they measure whether or not they're going to trust you with loaning you more money at all. So knowing my situation is kind of like, I was like, I doubt the bank will probably be willing to loan me money knowing that my taxes, don't look like, it doesn't look good to them. It doesn't look enough like they would want to trust to loan me another loan knowing that I already have one with them. So now it's like this year has been the first year that I've like been tracking on an Excel spreadsheet, like dollar for dollar every single week, the things that are coming in through cutting, the things that are coming in through videography, and I didn't start tracking my expenses like I need to. That's all I'm saying. I need to still be doing that better, but I don't really track my expenses like I need to, like in keeping receipts and things like that. Like, but that is like a goal that I do have, is actually thinking about all the things that I do in relation to my job that I spend money on,
right,
that I need that proof of.
Right.
And I've seen different apps. I forgot what they're called. I know one is like QuickBooks.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, and I know when you can like take pictures of your receipt, so you don't have to actually keep the physical receipt, and it'll store it in their system and things like that. And
Yeah. Or you just connect it to your bank account and they'll just
oh, word?
save it, yeah.
Oh wow, okay. I need to get that QuickBooks now.
Yeah.
For real. But yeah, just
also
like
a tax deductible expense.
using QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like $12-13 a month, and like that's business costs.
Nice.
So
I need to get that. But yeah, so doing that I think would definitely take my organization and me being a business, it would take it to the next level, because right now I think this is the first year that I'm starting to notice how I was like, yo, I need a business account. I need to be more organized. Like for the last 2 years, it's been kind of like, I'll make more money next week, or I'll do, like, it's been kind of just free flowing through life. So now it's been the first year that I've been trying to be more organized with stuff.
And you presently work in a cash only business, right?
It's not cash only. We do
Y'all
like Cash App, Venmo, the swipey square.
Okay,
square
because
thing.
I was gonna say if you create your business account, like you can link your personal business account to your swipey, your Venmo, whatever, however it is they choose to pay you, and it all flows into the same space. And then you also don't have to worry about, am I spending personal money, quote unquote personal money, because again you're gonna set a budget for yourself. How much are you paying yourself per day, whatever it is, and you're gonna give that to yourself, and that's gonna be what you use on your personal, or paying your family. Let's say it that way, paying your family. So this is how much the family's gonna use this week. So set a number for your personal family. I don't know y'all business like that. I don't need to. Cool.
They don't need to. I love y'all, but forget y'all.
I don't need to. Not just y'all, me too. But
all of us.
But like, setting a personal family budget for the week, and then like, what I'm saying, all right, we can't go over X amount of dollars, and then that's what's in the family account, right? That's what's in the family bank account, whatever. And then you have a completely separate business account with a certain amount of dollars in that, and like you're using you got your profit loss statements going straight to that. So it's like, what are you making, what money are you losing, coming straight from one account, and it makes your organization of like your finances way easier. Because again, you could probably, if you're doing two separate businesses, you probably, for organizational purposes, can have two separate business accounts, right? So so you make your organization a lot easier. So now you're tax prepared, not like slapping you in your mouth because you came through with a bag of receipts and you want her or him to itemize and like line everything up to make sure you're getting the most money back that you can. You just say, here's my QuickBooks, you know what I'm saying? Or you can print up the document that they're gonna give you at the end of the year.
Right.
And it's like easy money.
It's easy, yeah.
Right.
And your QuickBooks.
Right. So yes, like apps like QuickBooks and stuff like that.
Yeah, apps like QuickBooks, like not necessarily QuickBooks, unless y'all giving us some money, then it's QuickBooks.
Right.
What up, dude?
What they do, QuickBooks.
Christian Brothers powered by QuickBooks.
Hey,
kind of got a little
Hey.
Hey, we'll be the QuickBooks podcast if you want to.
Right.
Straight up.
You know, straight up. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, so, and like, it's interesting on that note, like, Noble was like telling me, like, you know, people were complaining about, like, what is his name? The dude who owns Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Jeff Kissy, man. That's what Bezos means in Spanish, which is awkward. I don't know why I just said that. Yeah, Jeff Kisses.
And you looked at him, so I'm cool.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, that's why he looked away so quick. He was
I'm
like,
married, bro.
yeah, weird.
I got kids.
Yeah, weird. But so yeah, Jeff Bezos. People were like, "Oh, he didn't pay taxes. That's illegal." And it's like, well, actually, it's legal. And like, you know, like after that happened, me and Noble looked at each other. And we're like, "Yo, we got to get better at writing stuff off."
Right.
Because it's like eventually we want to get to that space where it's just like, it's not that we're not paying taxes and we're laughing all the way to the bank, if so to speak. But it's just like, man, like if he could write off billions of dollars, surely we could write off thousands of dollars in such a way where we're not like, you know, paying all this money out. Where it's like, if I broke even, I don't owe you any taxes. In fact, give me back some money because I paid a little bit of taxes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I'm trying to run my rideshare business this year. Where it's just like, I'm not trying to break even, but it's looking like I'm gonna end up breaking even. And I already paid a little bit of federal. I'm gonna send Uncle William some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna send, you know, whoever's in City Hall some stuff. Sadly, because they really killed me. But because Philadelphia tax is high on high. But anyways, yeah, big facts. But yeah, and so anyhow, just trying to, I'm trying to break even this year, and again, just trying to see what I can write off. Right. Like my food expenses, obviously eating out, but sometimes, like, you know, today, like Noble can tell you, I was chef in the kitchen cooking quinoa and whatever, and I package all that up, and that's gonna be in my trunk in the morning when I leave. So it's like,
you had the PB&J.
Right, see the PB&J skis, like, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I bought that stuff in Kentucky, like before I left to go to my friend's wedding last week, and it was just like, you know, so all the stuff that I buy from the supermarket, I write off because a lot of it does end up in my trunk. And a lot of it does end up as meals, but some of it's just like I eat at the crib, and I can't really distinguish that, so I just write it all off. And again, it's a plausible business expense, because who's gonna, like, will the IRS really send an agent to follow me around? Like, oh, well, 51% of that was not written off.
If you tell them on camera, they will.
Right? Yeah, they will, because they're serious about their money. But it's one of them things. They're like, I mean, yeah, but
right.
So.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like, you have to make sure that you're taking the time to itemize yourself, right? You know, I used to have old heads in the church say, you have to read the Bible line upon line, precept upon precept, right? But I think, sure, true for the scriptures, but also true for your business expenses, right? You know, you have to pay attention to where the money is going. You know what I'm saying? This is, in some people's, again, like this, in some people's worldview, America is a corporation, not a country, right?
It's a British corporation.
In some people's worldview, like for me, I'm gonna say it's a country, but it's a country rooted in capitalism. So they only think about the dollar, right? So like, if you're following the dollar in your own personal life, you'll be alright when it comes to like your business, right? So following the dollar just meaning like tracking where your money is going. You know what I'm saying? Not in like a weird conspiracy theory sense, like this dollar. Code C89317, like where that's going, but like where are you spending your money? You know what I'm saying? And what are you spending your money on, and how? And like this helps me with budgeting, even, you know, how is this important to my family, to my life right now? Like, how is me spending $12 on a meal at Boom Boom Boom? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to be able to write that off? How am I going to be able to justify that as a business expense? How do I justify those things? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think about that, like from the books I purchased on Amazon, it's like, oh man, this was, you know what I'm saying? I needed this to grow my business. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like you'll see a lot of self-help books that may not be like, you know what I'm saying? But it may not be one of those things where like where you can just not track the money. You have to track the money. Like it's one of those things like, where's the money going? Because this is important to generational wealth, like present day wealth and generational wealth. And I think those are loaded terms that should be defined, but I don't know, you know, probably find them elsewhere.
Right.
Another time.
Right. To find them elsewhere, another thing. But it's just like back to that whole sentiment that like my family, like they call. I told them I was like I'm itemizing and I'm doing all this stuff, and they're like, oh, so you're in a money making scheme to cheat the government. I was like, no, like the guy from Amazon could do it, so can I? They're like, well, that was morally wrong. And obviously we're Hispanic, so it was very, very different. We weren't like middle class Disney Channel family, but but yeah, and so kind of like a laughing running joke between me and my family now. It's like, how's your money making scheme, And it's just like, how are your money making schemes? And it's like, they're not money making schemes. It's like the people you look up to that you elect in office in Florida are all rich. This is what they do for their taxes. This is how they build it up enough time to be able to run for public office. And this is why y'all will stay middle class or lower middle class, because y'all are not itemizing yourself. Or this is why eventually you're going to burn out because you're working 80-hour weeks or 60-hour weeks to make all this money to spend on all this stuff. But it's like there might be an easier way where it's like maybe you work a 50-hour week and you itemize correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Where it's like I'm trying to like take like the benefit of business ethic, which is not just a Hispanic thing. I was driving a guy today. He was doing all kinds of questionable things with himself, and he said he hadn't slept in 2 days. Like that's a hell of a work ethic. You know what I mean? People look at hood dudes, lazy scum of the earth. It's like, no, these guys have a crazy work ethic. They'll stay up for days on end just getting money. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you could harness that to do legitimate work or 1099 work, and a lot of guys do, they get off the streets and they get into haircut and 1099 work. They own their own business, but they don't itemize correctly.
I wasn't on the streets.
Right, you weren't on the streets. You were on the streets of Bucks County, and where they don't have sidewalks, in the front yards of Bucks County.
Montgomery County.
Right, Montgomery.
Where they don't have sidewalks still.
Where they still don't have sidewalks.
We got deers, bro.
Right, yeah. See, that's why I said Bucks. Y'all got deers. But
man.
yeah, and so where's that? That's a part of the come up in generational wealth, where it's like you're not just like getting money for today. It's like you're thinking further down the road. I think that's what we want to give our viewership, where it's like work smarter and harder. Don't just do either or.
Yeah, for sure. You wanna work both lanes of that. Like, and a lot again, you hear people say it all the time. You gotta have multiple streams of income. Yeah, you do. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to know how to manage all of the streams of income that you have. Like, where's all that money coming from? And then what is all of that money being spent on? And so when you do that properly, when you itemize those things properly and budget and all of that, like you can see your wealth. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously, like, there's acquiring investments and all of those kinds of things that come later. But like, I think some people see like a Jeff Bezos, a Jay-Z even becoming the first billionaire rapper. You know what I'm saying? And they want to get to that point, but like they miss this step of like, hey man, like securing your family first. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or your future family or whatever it is for you.
Right. Future family. Like, I got a girlfriend, but
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out, yeah. What's her name?
Shout out to Bay K. What they do, Kelly?
Wow. We never letting you shout her out again.
My boy, she's got all these.
Yeah, that was gross. Yeah, that's where you get the husk from. I see. But like, we always like we tend to idolize these people that have billions of dollars, or like they have this idea of wealth accomplished, and yet we neglect, you know what I'm saying, the little stuff that they do. Like, you know what I'm saying, like a Grant Cardone, billionaire in real estate. He owns billions of dollars in real estate, but he'll tell you out of his own mouth, I'm poor. I just pay taxes on my work and like buy money out of buy things, nice things out of my businesses and write those things off. Why do you have, and like the way he does it is like he owns his trademarks, you know what I'm saying? So he puts his trademark on everything. This is a justifiable business expense. A stupid big Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon with the big monster truck tires for no reason. You don't need it. But because it has your trademark on it that you paid for, it's a part of your brand now. It's a part of branding.
Right.
So it's a justifiable expense. So you write it off under the marketing department of your company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like when people don't know those things, like people don't itemized correctly, and they don't win when it comes to like the tax code and like finances and 1099.
Right.
So
Yeah,
all
man.
that.
Yeah, you know, again, like, you know, like, just like trying to take people from just like, I'm a worker and like I work for the system and then the system blesses me, to like maybe there's a more critical way to play again those multiple streams of income, where like before, sure, the unions really did have your best interest in mind. Now you become a teacher, that's not guaranteed. Most companies don't want to pay you $100,000 eventually. Like, they're gonna fire you before you get there and hire someone right out of college just like you were, and then you're not gonna be able to have a job because you have too many expenses and you're too expensive now.
Right.
You know, like, that's why.
Bars.
Yeah, and like, you know.
He definitely dropped bars
Bars
on
right
that.
there.
Yeah, and like it's one of those
Too many
things.
expenses to make you too expensive.
Yeah.
Bars.
Oh no.
Yeah, Husk.
But not because like some of like.
New rapper alert.
Oh no. J Husk.
James. Yo.
Oh man, but
man.
yeah, and you know, a lot of middle-aged and older people will complain about that. They're like, oh, they want you to have experience, but then when you have the experience and you can run the company, they won't hire you because you have too much of it. It's like, no, you're just too expensive, because like you have loans that are 30 years old and you just got it 10 years ago and you got it yourself to a new mortgage and another car payment. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you want to like minimize those things and own those things. Because again, the rich people, that's what it seems like. They own their house, they own their car, and then everything else they're just writing off.
Right.
And so it's like, how can you get there? And, you know, obviously Financial Peace University, Crown, they're trying to get people there, and those are good programs to use. But just at the basic level, when you're 1099, you know, whatever, like, just make sure you're itemizing correctly,
And budgeting.
budgeting, and then also make sure that you're, you know, flipping your wealth into basic stuff like that, like those insurances and stuff. Like, you need that stuff.
Yeah. Some things you should have just because. Like, I know, like, there are conspiracies about why you shouldn't have insurance as well as anything else. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, I'm just saying.
That was the look of, I'm agreeing with how stupid that is, and you are too.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like you cannot cannot expect to live in a world that's falling and expect nothing bad to happen. So you have to have the mindset of preparing for those things. So the insurance is going to be a necessity, and the same thing with savings accounts.
Right.
Like, you can't just be going for broke every single week expecting nothing to happen. You know what I'm saying? So your car insurance is your health insurance, life insurance is sure, but like, if your tire go flat, that's not a car insurance coverable expense. You need a new tire, fam. You need to cough up $100 to $200 depending on the brand tire you got. And if you got a big boy truck, it's even more. You know what I'm saying?
You got the razor tire.
Yeah. So you know, you have to prepare for those things, and like, along the way in preparing for those things, you're acquiring information and wealth. Because like, again, like, if you're paying into a life insurance policy, God forbid, or not even, if the Lord decided to take you earlier than you expected, let's say it that way, right? The Lord decided to take you earlier than you expected, then there's this payout of your life insurance policy that goes to your family. You know what I'm saying? They can cover your costs, whatever debt you was in.
Right.
You know, hopefully you got that kind of policy and you don't have that much debt. But they can cover your debt, and they can cover your funeral costs. Why do you think there are so many Lifetime movies? So many Lifetime movies about men and or women getting life insurance, and then like men and or women killing their spouse. You know what I'm saying? For the life insurance, you know, that's a lot of money you get from the insurance company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to play with, you know, just to touch, to feel. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work up your life, right? So it's one of those things where you have to pay attention to those things, and I don't think people want to. Again, like, we're so caught up, and I'm gonna use your term, we're so caught up in the matrix that we wanna invest in real estate off like 0 to 1,000 just fast, and we're trying to figure out all these different things that, you know, may not permit that. Like, we got investment. We got apps for everything. Investing in real estate, investing in the stock market, like, you know what I'm saying, where they take parts of your money, like, so like you go to Wendy's and you spend $5.36, and they'll take the other 64 cents and
save it.
yeah, they'll put it in a savings account or something like that, or they'll invest it for you, or they'll put it towards some real estate. Like you don't, or they'll even buy some gold for you. Like all of those things, I say nay to, right? I say
buying some gold shavings with it.
like 63 cents worth of gold. Like what is that gonna get me? Like you know what I'm saying? But I say nay to those things all the time just because like it's like bro like. That's not the thing. That's not the initial thing you should be worried about. If you don't have like your insurance is covered, because those are gonna pay out more in an untimely death than like $43 worth of gold or like $43 in an investment account somewhere off that no one cares about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Do y'all have a resource or like somewhere people can go to like?
Nah,
figure
I got this out the mud, cuz.
Like to figure out what are things that are write-off worthy versus things that are not. Because like if you don't do rideshare, but like let's say like me, right, being a barber, can I write off my gas like driving to work and home? Like can I write that off or no? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and how would I know what's appropriate not to write off or not to write off? Like is there like somewhere where people can go to figure out like?
I always say go to an accountant or a tax professional, right? They'll give you that information, but you know there may some you could read the tax code again. There's a lot of legal jargon that you got to wade through. Or
honestly, there's a lot of blogs about these things. Like, if you do a Google search, there's like someone somewhere that like sat down with an accountant that's been doing this
write
for
off
years.
worthy things.
Yeah,
regardless of whatever
like
your
for
contract
a barber.
job is.
Like so, like
you have to be specific.
Yeah, like you know, like, there's probably someone out there that did it. And if not, again, like, you could. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, and I think write-off worthy things can be specific to you as well. So that's why I say tax professional, right, or an accountant, because like, you know, Joe Bob out there in the sticks may not need, you know what I'm saying, Andes clippers the way you need Andes clippers because he just cutting like Willie Joe hair and he needs combs and scissors. You know what I'm saying? He just need combs and scissors where you need $200, $300 clippers. He needs, you know, $70, $80 scissors and a comb and a little blue. I don't know what that's called. Is that alcohol? Is it a little blue water?
Yeah, clipper side.
Yeah.
Put the combs and stuff in, disinfect.
Yeah, so like he may just need those things and like some barber chairs, right? Whereas you need the Andes clippers, you know what I'm saying, your cable, your lights, your TV for your barber shop, your barber chair, your barber cape, you know what I'm saying, your scissors, all of the product that you might use in the hair, all of that stuff, man. Like,
Right.
write it off, right? So like it's one of those things I suggest going to a tax professional. I know that's scary because like money, like you all like immediate go to a tax professional or an accountant. I don't have that money, but like the value, think of it as an investment. The value you get from the value of information you get from that professional is gonna save you in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean that, and you know, just like what can you write off? Like that's the help of like these like apps. You know, because you swipe for business and then like you like hit the categories and it's like, I think on my app it's like 18 or 20 categories where it's just like parking and tolls. Like, oh, I can write that off. You know, it's like that's what ended up like. That's why I got like the turnpike pass because like I was like, oh, I could write. Yeah, like I could write that off. I could be writing all this off instead of trying to like track the cash I'm taking out at random when oh no, am I going on the turnpike? You know, like nah, I got the thing. It's going to automatically do. I just swipe it once it shows up in my QuickBooks and I'm good. Yeah, so that's I mean, like just playing around with the apps too. You know, just clicking around like financial blogs. You know, like if you watch this on YouTube, on Facebook, in your feed, it's gonna Big Brother's Listening. It's gonna show up in the little algorithm. So yeah, all that.
Did you just say Big Brother's Listening?
Yeah, it's gonna show up in the algorithm. Yeah. So,
got it.
Right.
So I Google searched some mattresses the other day.
Only
and then I was on Instagram.
And mattresses showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I did that for my mom. Like I'm getting a new computer. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, I got you, mom. Let me see what I can, scrounge up real quick. You need something quick and cheap. And As soon as I got the phone with my mom, I'm scrolling through. Man, I don't need no computer. Stop listening to my phone call. I was shouting. I was shouting to myself. I don't need no computer. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then you're gonna see ads for it. Don't need a computer. Try an iPad.
Right.
But yeah.
So that
those are the resources that I got.
Yeah, and then I guess like just like to close it, like again, like just kind of like to bring it around where it's like write-offs and all that stuff. It's not cheating the government. It's not trying to be a dishonest rich person. It's like it's being shrewd, and the Bible actually commands us to be shrewd in our dealings.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like in the wisdom literature, you know, in Proverbs especially, where it's like, you know, like it says worthless, says the buyer. Then he walks off boasting about the deal he made. That seems to be dishonest, but that's actually held up as a paradigm of wisdom, where it's like you're in the market in the ancient Near East bargaining. Like that's actually a smart thing you ought to do.
Right.
You know, and so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're discovering what legal write-offs you have. You're skillfully doing your taxes. Like it's something you ought to do, because God doesn't want His people to be stupid. So, contrary to popular belief. He's gonna bless me just for working hard. Like, no, there's other skills involved.
And God just wants you to do good business. Like we believe like the fourth, the fifth, and the seventh. Like
and the eighth commandment is like about doing
our requirements to do good business. You know what I'm saying? To yourself, well, to God, to self and neighbor as well. Like you have to do. Like if you're in the marketplace, and I'm not trying to cheat you. You know, again, like these are a part of the tax code. Like, so this is not cheating the government if the tax code says this is an expense you can write off because you have this business. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm not cheating the government in that way. It's just a part of the code, and I know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. So I'm engaging in good business via the government, via my personal faith. You know what I'm saying? So I have no room where I don't have any space to like feel like convicted. Oh, you're cheating the government? That's immoral. It's like I don't feel that because like again, the Bible calls for me to do good business in the marketplace, in my home. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we do good business with God, whatever that looks like.
Right.
Again, that's a separate conversation.
Right, a separate conversation. But again, like I just wanted to bring out like like leveling up is biblical. You know what I'm saying? Like becoming more skillful in life is biblical. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, generational wealth. You know, righteous man leaves an inheritance down to his children's children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these things are biblical, and so you ought to do them. And if the unions are no longer what they used to be, or jobs in retirement are no longer what they used to be, and people are doing 1099 work, even a 1099 worker in front of God has a duty to do those things. We just wanted to help advance the conversation along.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this was personally beneficial for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some cookbooks. Is it too late to start like itemizing, or it's like? Because I be thinking like, I gotta wait till January so I can have a year of me doing this. Because it's like,
oh man, itemize as soon as you can.
Yeah, whenever you start, like you can start tonight, bro. Like it'll be alright. You can start tomorrow morning, be alright. You know what I'm saying?
Say less.
All right,
y'all boys.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I got all